guys, this is Gerry O story for Kids First. Today we're at the premiere for The Jungle Book. And we're going to meet a lot of new stars, we're going to learn a lot about the film, and also stay tuned for my review on the Kids First YouTube page. Let's go have fun. Right now with Brigham Taylor, who's the producer of the film. So when you're thinking out this film, when you're in the process of this film, what do you think was the most important part? What do you think the part that you're most proud of this film?
I think bringing this jungle to life in a way that it had never been seen before was the biggest task. I think the story, there was a strong story there. You knew you could create a strong story in retelling it. But the question was, could you make people believe that this kid lived in that world in a photoreal way? And to ground that gave us a whole new language to tell the story in a different way.
Right now we're with Ritesh Rajan, who plays the father in the film. How are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
So how is it to be part of the Jungle Book movie, the rebirth of a legendary story?
It's incredible. I mean, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I'm totally humbled. I haven't seen the finished product, so I'm very excited to see how it turns out and what it looks like.
And what was the process like being part of it? Because you were animating the film, correct?
You know, I'm live action. So Neel and I, Mowgli and I, are the only humans in the movie. So it's very special. I had to grow my facial hair out, grew my hair out all for 6 months, and you know, I'm very excited to see how it turns out.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you. Take care.
Right now we're with Lavada, who's in charge of the visual effects. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
So in the process, like, how do you determine what's going to be what? Will it be CGI? Will it be a picture? How do you determine that whole process?
Well, in the beginning of this movie, we determined that all of it was going to be a visual effect. That's the only way to actually reproduce this movie in the way that we wanted to see it. And that was the daunting task, is that now we're not relying on anything that's real, but we wanted to mimic photoreality to such a degree that the audience would be confused by it and actually believe they're watching something they've seen a million times. Seeing these trees and this sunlight and all these various things are something that every person is an expert in. And so because everybody's an expert in, they could detect a phony right away. That's what we determined, that we wanted to create a movie that you couldn't detect and tell a story in a very unique way.
So this is more like an animation than live action. Is that?
My feeling is that it's not animated, because animation kind of conjures up the connotation of cartoon animation. And you don't think of something animated as being something real. You believe it to be animated. So I think this is a live action movie, and forget how we did it. That looks like that's a real leopard, that's a real tiger, that's a real any animal, and standing right next to a real kid in a real place. So if you didn't know, and we said, oh, we just made the mouths move, you really wouldn't think it's an animated movie. You think it's a real movie. So that's what I like to think the movie is. It's not an animated film, it's a real film. It's a real movie.
And do you have one character or one animal that you saw after it was all done, you're just so proud that it came out that way?
There's so many of them, and they're all very high. But Shere Khan, I think, was my favorite. I think the marriage of the actor, the animators who animated him, the way he looked, the way we photographed him, gave all the power that character needs to have to be the villain that ties the movie together. He is the glue of the film. And I was extremely proud of any shot we did of Shere Khan. I think he's magnificent in the movie.
What are you looking forward to most in the film?
I'm looking forward to seeing how they recreated this world, because I love this film as a kid. So hopefully, and he looks like me, Mowgli, so I like that.
Thank you. Well, the event is over and it was a blast. We learned so much about the film. We learned so much about the Jungle Book itself, and it was just such a fun world premiere. Definitely like and subscribe and stay tuned for my review of this spectacular film. I'm your host, Gerry O, signing off. Bye.